sir.
You're looking very smart today.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yes, sir. So my name is Shashwat. I come from Dehradun and I've completed my major part of my schooling from there itself. Then I decided to pursue engineering and I completed my BTech from IIT Delhi. There I was the captain of the tennis team, sir, and I was also part of the football team. After that, I had a short span of work experience with PwC. Then, sir, I started my civil services preparation, and this is my first attempt. Apart from that, sir, I also like to follow chess, and I also used to do debating in my college.
That's very good. Srikant sir?
Yes. Shashwat, you have done textile engineering from Delhi.
Right, sir.
IIT Delhi. I think now, and you are working in but you told you are working in PwC. Still working?
No, sir.
Left,
I had left it.
left it. How was the experience at PwC?
Sir, the experience was good in terms of the learnings that I got,
Mhm.
and overall, sir, the package etc. was also okay.
Yeah.
But sir, overall, I felt a lack of satisfaction and a lack of sense of purpose while doing the work, sir. When I used to come back home by the evening, I felt that I had not made any big difference, and I had not made any big contribution to the society, to the country, etc. So,
Okay.
sir, somewhere I felt that civil services can actually be a better career for me.
Okay. Okay. How do you define satisfaction then?
Sir, sorry, how will I
Yeah,
find?
yeah, satisfaction. Is it satisfaction? It comes daily, or is it over a period of time, or does it require any work requires some
Yes,
particular?
sir. I think you are right, sir. I think there are two types of satisfactions. One is the short-term satisfaction and one is the long-term satisfaction. So short-term we might get if we do something big. Let's say today itself we are making some big change, holding some big events, etc. But the long-term satisfaction is more important, where we see where in which direction we are going and overall the work that we are doing. So, sir, even after like 5 to 6 months, the projects that I had done, I felt that they were not that big of they were not having that big of an impact. Whereas, sir, in civil services, I have seen personally also, my father is also was also an IPS officer.
Yeah.
So the magnitude of work that civil services offers and the scope of work that civil services offers, sir, I've seen him, the kind of work I've seen him do. I feel that the job satisfaction has been much, much greater, sir. That is why I felt it is
Yeah,
better.
because you are a son of a retired IPS officer, because that in Uttarakhand, what are the one or two, what are challenges did you observe during, because though you're not in the action, but you're closely observing your father also. What are major challenges did you?
Sir, in Uttarakhand or sir in Uttarakhand Police?
Uttarakhand only. Of course, I think father served in Uttarakhand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, the biggest challenge in Uttarakhand right now is that of the disasters and the environmental change that is going on. So, in the past 5 or 6 years, we've seen a very rapid increase in the number of disasters, sir. This year also, we had that Dharali incident where a huge flash flood came in, and sir, in Dehradun also, we saw some big floods this year. And sir, the Kedarnath tragedy in 2013 really began all this process. And sir, secondly, is that still we need to develop the hill areas more, even though a lot of work has been done. But sir, still the standard of living there, I think, is not up to the mark, sir. So the connectivity we need to increase that, and sir, better health and education. And sir, third is the problem of over tourism right now. So in some of the places during the peak seasons, such as sir Masuri, the Char Dham, Kedarnath, etc. Nainital, the number of people are just too much, and that is causing the system to fail, and that is basically breaching the capacity. So I feel that is also a big challenge that the state is facing.
Yeah. Uh, Shashwat, the next decade, or next you can say even another 20 years, it will be the age of technology.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that too, particularly artificial intelligence. And different people know because you're an engineer, AGI, all those things. So they are bound to happen. Yeah. Then in that respect, how do you feel your society is going to get affected?
Right, sir. Sir, can I take a few seconds to
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
please.
this? Right, sir. So, sir, I think that there are going to be both types of impacts, both positive as well as negative. So, sir, some of the positive impacts that AI would be having is that the lives of the people would be much easier. The overall work, for example, what one person could do in one day, could in 4 or 5 days, could now be done in one day. So, we have an opportunity to increase our growth by a much faster pace. And sir, in the sectors where the employment elasticity is high, according to reports, AI is not going to replace the jobs. It's going to augment the jobs. So we have an opportunity in increasing the overall number of jobs there also, sir. And apart from that, the overall quality of life due to the research, etc., that we can be using AI for. So, for example, in medical field, we can use AI to identify the genetic issues, and then we can find a lot of solutions in the coming 10 years. So the life of the people can also improve. But sir, there are drawbacks to that also, because one of the major drawbacks in the society that I feel is that AI has started to replace the people, and AI has started to replace the friends. Even if someone is depressed or someone wants to talk to someone, the first thing that comes up to their mind is AI. And there I feel that the human connect is very important, and in the coming decade we will feel a lack of that, or a decline of that, and that will turn into issues as we move forward, even if we are not seeing them right now. And secondly, sir, in the economic sense, obviously the it is also a risk to employment in some sectors. So the labor-intensive industries, etc., they face a risk. So that might also change the society a lot in a negative sense.
Yeah. Last question. Corruption perception index. Our country is quite below corruption perception index. You might
Yes, sir.
be aware of it. Why the with all digitization and a lot of emphasis on digital e-governance, we are lagging behind in corruption perception index?
Sir, I think that overall the amount of corruption has declined due to the initiatives that you've said, e-governance and digitization, etc. But still, first of all, I would not say that it is completely over. So, having a perception among the public is not completely incorrect. But sir, it might be aggravated by some incidents such as, sir, in 2010, 12, obviously there were more such as coal scam and 2G scam, etc. So that highlighted it a lot, sir. Then, sir, the political scenario in a lot of the states before the elections, it is often alleged that corruption is taking place and some issues are raised. So that also aids to the corruption perception index. But sir, I think that the scenario, the corruption has reduced, but it is still there, and there are still some gaps, so we need to work on it.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madhuri, please.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you, Shashwat. So, a delightful morning. So, Shashwat, tell me about the Ladakh statehood demand. What is your observation on the very nearby state that you have?
Yes, ma'am. So, Ladakh, initially, ma'am, Ladakh was demanding a separation from Jammu and Kashmir because they did not get enough political representation, and they felt that their voice wasn't heard in such a big state. So, after the abrogation of Article 370, they got the status of a union territory. But, ma'am, after that, the people of Ladakh started to demand statehood, because somewhere they felt that the outsiders might come and change their ecology and their economy as well. So that was the main reason for the protests. And on the other hand, ma'am, I feel that it is very important for us to prioritize the national security. And Ladakh being very close to the border areas and especially very close to China, it is very important for us to make the necessary military infrastructure and the in general road network and infrastructure, etc. So we cannot compromise on that. And being a union territory, it would be much easier for the government to work in these areas. There would be lesser issues, there would be lesser barriers to this. So I feel, ma'am, that Ladakh is a union territory right now, but their demand was also in some ways justified, and that caused a little friction between the government and the people of Ladakh.
But Shashwat, you are interested in debating, so let's go for a devil's advocate. So you tell me their concerns are justified, but still Union Territory is better. So don't you think you're conflicting your own opinion?
Ma'am, as you said that I like to debate, so I think that there are always two sides to the picture, and we cannot clearly say whether the government is correct or the people are correct. So, ma'am, yes, that is what I would like to say here. But yes, ma'am, if you want to ask something else or if you want to further expand.
Okay. So tell me how we can encourage entrepreneurship.
Yes, ma'am. So, being from IT, I was in the entrepreneurship cell, and I saw that a lot is being done for entrepreneurship in IITs, such as FITT and research parks, etc. And in the country also, we are seeing a change. We are seeing a positive change. And if we want to further increase it, ma'am, we can first of all increase the awareness, and we can sort of increase the publicity of entrepreneurship. So, initiatives such as the Shark Tank that has actually taken the concept of entrepreneurship to the households, to the grassroots, and now we see a lot of people from the villages, etc., also coming up with it. Second, ma'am, we need to focus on the women entrepreneurship. So that is a big area we can work on, and that can change it a lot. So promoting things such as the self-help groups, making more taking sessions and making the self-help groups aware about the different areas that they can go into, the upcoming areas, and ma'am, the sort of cottage or home industries also that they can start working on, such as pickle making, etc. They can also be very good sources of entrepreneurship and starting their journey, and then they can obviously go to other fields also in the future. So increasing the awareness and promoting people to come into it, that is one area. And ma'am, second is the support that we need to give. So in terms of the funding and the investment, both, it can be both from the government in terms of grants and in terms of investment rounds, and the private sector also. So more the VC culture and the PE culture, I think if they keep on increasing, then entrepreneurship will do very well in India.
So my last question is, who's your role model as an entrepreneur, and what is the lesson you learned from them?
Right, ma'am. Can I take a few seconds to think about it? Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, Jeff Bezos is someone who I really look up to. That is someone from outside India. But, ma'am, I really remember one line of him quite distinctly, that in life, you should minimize your risks. You should minimize your regrets. No, I'm sorry, just a second. I'm I'm sort of stuttering, but yes. So, ma'am, he said that you should minimize your regrets and not your risks. That is something that has really stayed with me. That if I don't take the right step today, if my heart is saying or my mind is asking me to do something, but I don't go forward and take the step, I will regret it 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. And that is something which I don't want. Even if you fail, but you will have that confidence that you went for it, you gave your best, and you won't have that regret. So that is a line that really stuck with me, and that is something that made me help me make my decision also. And ma'am, in India, I really like Deepinder Goyal, because the sort of work that he's done Blinkit today is really doing exceptional, and he's also going into other fields.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madhu. Shashwat, you have not opted for Uttarakhand for either IAS or IPS as your cadre choice.
Yes, sir.
You've done so well in Uttarakhand, and you've been there. So, what is the reason for not opting for Uttarakhand at all?
Sir, I really like Uttarakhand and I really like Dehradun also. It has been the city that I am living in and I have lived for most part of my life. But sir, a major part of my family and my father is basically from Haryana, and a lot of my relatives and a lot of my family is actually from coming from Haryana only, sir. So that was the reason I had opted for Haryana, sir. But I have nothing in particular against Uttarakhand as a state, and I really, really love to stay there, sir.
Yeah, but do we make a choice for a cadre just because our family and friends are there in that state?
No, sir. That is also your point is also valid, sir. But I feel that I am more connected. I am also connected to Haryana a lot, and I have always been there a number of times in a year with my father. And sir, our village is also located in Haryana only. So I feel that I can understand the problems of Haryana and work in Haryana also in a good manner. So that is also another reason, sir.
Okay. There's a general perception nowadays, that's children of civil servants, they don't opt for civil services.
Okay. Yes, sir.
If they are a perception, because somewhere in society people say those whose parents are already in civil service, they normally don't go in for civil services for a whatever reason.
Hmm.
You, in response to a earlier question, you were saying about taking a decision uh, from the heart or from the mind or emotionally or pragmatically or whatever.
Hmm.
Is your decision based on the role perception of your parents because your father is in the police service and your mother is a professor in agriculture? So you could have opted for textile engineering, or you had very good sports achievements, so you could be a professional sports person. So did you decide from your mind or from the heart opting for civil services?
Right, sir. Sir, as you mentioned that it has been the role of my parents in my life has been immense, and right from my childhood I have seen the sort of work that he has done. So eventually, sir, I think I cannot say whether it's purely from my heart or purely from my mind. It is a mix of both. I think I was really pulled towards the services due to how my father has his career and whatever he has achieved. But from the practical perspective also, sir, I really feel that it can give me the platform to achieve my potential in a better manner and use my skills for a greater cause, or to have a greater impact in whatever, in for the society, for the economy of the country, for international relations, etc. So practically also I feel that it is a better utilization of my skill sets. I can do more through this work. And yes, sir. So I think it is both my heart and mind that really pulled me towards the services, sir.
And your father is in the sports university as a vice chancellor now, and you excelled in sports in IIT Delhi, didn't you?
Yes.
Now, my question to you would be, would you opt for, say, given a choice, would you like to become the cabinet secretary or the DG of a state, or Sachin Tendulkar or Sunil Gavaskar or Baichung Bhatia? Suppose there is a choice for you. What would be your choice?
Right, sir. So that is a very difficult question, first of all. But sir,
All decisions
eventually,
are always difficult. So,
yes, sir.
but
Yes, sir.
while taking decision, we make difficult choices. No.
Correct, sir. So, sir, being even though it's difficult, sir, if it comes to choosing, I will go for choosing to be a cabinet secretary or a DG of a state, because, sir, I really like sports and I really enjoy it. But I can always do that for my
My
employment as
question, I
still
think you didn't
continuing to study.
understand.
Hmm.
You become Kapil Dev from Haryana, your state, or Sachin Tendulkar, or Sunil Gavaskar, or Baichung Bhatia, or Prakash
Right.
Padukan. The lines, they are legends.
Yes, sir.
So if there is a choice to be one of them, and the other choice is to become a DG police or secretary in the government or cabinet secretary, what would be your choice? I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
asking
I
you just to
was
play amateur sports.
right, sir. That is correct, sir. I was just coming to that, that even so I would choose becoming a cabinet secretary or a DG. And the reason for that, sir, would be that I can continue to play at a good level, and enjoy it. But, sir, becoming the cabinet secretary or the DGP, I will really get the opportunity to change the sporting ecosystem of the country and really make an impact there. So even if I'm not able to myself become the greatest player, I'm sure I can contribute to India. India basically fostering the next generation of players and really making its impact in the global sports, sir. And apart from that, I can really work for the people of the country and really work in that direction a lot, sir. So I think that it would be I can create the impact from this side also, and that is something which I'm looking forward to more, sir. That's why I would choose becoming a cabinet secretary or a DG.
Okay, that's all from us. Great going, you'll do well. Don't worry. Best of
Oh,
luck.
thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.